Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. It is the Daily Dish. Are you here? I see Beverly. Good morning to you, Beverly. Or good afternoon if you're here on the East Coast with me. Alice is here as well. Pinky's up to you, Alice. I'm glad you're here. I'm excited about this week because this week I've decided it's time to talk about time. It's time to talk about time. And you know how I feel about time. Nancy, cheers. There's Mother Hen. I got Sandra in the house too. I mean, it's just, this is a big deal. Sandy, Carol, look at that. We're all here. Catherine's also here. Time is really such a precious commodity, is it not? And today we're going to really be getting close to that. Hi, Jackie. So I invite you to take some notes if you'd like. If you don't want to take notes, you can get our show notes simply by getting our Daily Dish newsletter at savingdinner.com. Really easy to do. Am I right, Patsy? You know, Patsy gets it. Great products today all this week, actually. Our show special is beauty support. Who here uses beauty support? Who is a devoted fan of beauty support? I am. This is a proprietary formula that we came up with our formulator, and I love beauty support because it helps you to grow hair. It helps your skin, your nails. It helps your joints. I will tell you, 97% of us have a collagen deficiency, and I will tell you also this, that if you are a woman over the age of 35, you are not making your own collagen the way you used to. I know that's part of the problem with aging. They're always nailing us on some way. Sue is in the house. Hi, Sue. Good to have you here. Nancy says her baby hairs are looking good. We all have some baby hairs. Helen, hello. I'm glad you're here. So yeah, you are listening. You've got little baby hairs growing. It's right here. Is that right? Like crazy. Your nail hair and leg hair are going crazy. I love it. Let's celebrate Sandy's leg hair, shall we? Your nail hair? Nobody has nail hair. I don't think she meant nail hair. Anyway, but here, yeah, this is my hair. This is all because of beauty support right here. It's really profound on this side. Now, it's blonde and let's just say blonde, wink, and gray. A little bit of that too. Your baby hairs are pretty. Well, Carol, this is on special, so you want to take advantage of this. We don't do this very often. Beauty support, buy 3, get 1 free. It's $50 essentially in your pocket. Go stock up. Go to savingdinner.com/show. All you have to do to get our special is click the button, add to cart. We do all the stuff. We do all the stuff. I love it. Beauty support, savingdinner.com/show. Do not forget it. Also, what are we doing on Monday, everybody? Hi, Kathy. I'm glad you're here. Carol, I'm glad you're here too. She's also got baby hairs. What are we doing on Monday? We are ultimately sprinting. So I've told you this before. I will tell you again. The Ultimate Sprint is my newest version. It's really 2.0 of the Hot Melt Sprint. The Hot Melt Sprint is classic. It is the classic anti-inflammatory diet. It really is. Because every single thing that I learned about an anti-inflammatory diet went into that thing. You got 18 pages on telling you exactly how to do it. And it's free. You know that about the sprint, the Hot Melt Sprint. Well, this next iteration took me a few months to put together. Lots of podcast listening, lots of research, lots of different things, and just making sure that not just one research paper, but there were several that would check out and would tell me the same information. And that is the Ultimate Sprint, which really focuses on the importance of protein for women, especially women of a certain age, postmenopausal women, and also for women who are, perimenopausal women too. Really good for them. Women who are in menopause as well, because our bodies shift and change. And when I created the Ultimate Sprint, this was 2015. I was still in menopause, no longer done. So you are welcome, Nancy. Thanks for saying that. I really appreciate it, because even though it doesn't look like a lot, like there's just new information about why, and I just drilled it down and condensed it. There's a lot that went into it, because I had to change and to shift these things so dramatically, because it was dramatic shift on protein. I wanted to make sure I was doing the right thing. Now, of course, if you have kidney disease, that's a completely different thing. You really need to check with your doctor on this for this thing. But I'm really excited about it. I cannot wait to start with you all this Monday coming up. We're doing it for 2 weeks. The first week we focus on the protein. The second week we focus on the fiber. But you can do them both at the same time, but it's just so that you don't get overwhelmed. And it's so that you can develop and customize your plan the way you need to. You'll have to read it to understand. Go to savingdinner.com/us. What does that stand for? Ultimate Sprint. Isn't that cute? And the other thing is, as you're on that Ultimate Sprint page, there it is that you can buy the Sprint Guide, the Ultimate Sprint Guide. You can also get the supplements that I suggest that you get with it. And secondarily, there is a link there right under the graphic that says watch the webinar if you haven't. So I've sent you to one page so you can get what you need. And if you need to and want to, watch that webinar all again. savingdinner.com/us. Okay, your thoughts are not orders. They're merely suggestions, says James Clear. You have the power to choose which option to follow. Isn't it funny how oftentimes we think we have no choice in the matter, when we honestly do? We've got a ton of choice. We have so many choices. I think oftentimes our non-decisions come from the fact that we're overwhelmed by way too many choices out there. But when our brains start telling us, no, you can't, you're overwhelmed, it's too hard, it's this, that, and the other thing, there's a choice in there. That is not a marching order for you to say, oh, I'm overwhelmed, so therefore I'm paralyzed and I can't do anything. That's not true. No, we all have the same hours in the day. It's how we allocate them, right? That's what we're talking about this week. And I'm going to tell you what, I want you to get uncomfortable with this information. I want you to say, shut up, Leanne. I'm serious. I want you to say, wow, this is making me feel kind of queasy inside. Ooh, she's talking to me. You know why? Because when we do this, this is the inner work that we need to do. We can start getting into the stuff that we really need to be looking at. Because it's easy to look at the fun stuff, and it's easy to look away at the stuff we don't want to see. And all of us have those areas. We all have blind spots. And if we don't think we don't, then, God help you. Because on this side of glory, there is no perfect. None. Zero. Does not exist. That includes you, my darling friend, and me. We walk by the grace of God in this life. And sometimes we're slogging and getting through. And other times we're really nailing it. The inconsistency is the only consistency in life, really. It's true. However, when we're in flow, boy, doesn't it feel good. And I believe that getting into flow means that we really have a grip on our time and how we spend it. And that's what we're going to be talking about this week, this whole week, different aspects of that. And there's our friend Lynn, and there's Debbie as well. It's good to have you here. Anyway, so that is what we're going to be talking about. And I will tell you, this for me is, it's a cathartic, necessary thing for me to go over, because I have been missing certain goals that I have set for myself. And I'm looking at it and going, why am I missing this? And I realized I hadn't been allocating my time wisely in some areas. There are other things that I can be doing. I don't need to sit there and watch Netflix one series after the other. By the way, Daisy Jones and the Six, pretty good show. Pretty good show. I like movies or shows that have a storyline and aren't necessarily blowing people up and having guts and gore and scary stuff on there. So that's what is pretty cool. Anyway, so I have a closet that needs to get done, and I bought these divider things, and I have to pull all the stuff out and then put it all back in. It's probably going to take me an hour and a half. Have I allocated time for it? No. How long have I had these dividers? Going on 2 weeks. So tonight's the night. I'm going to get that done. I invite you to start thinking about things that you put off and haven't allocated time for. And today we're going to be talking about the preciousness of time, because you remember Mick Jagger's song, right? Time is on your side. I want you to know that that was in 1964 that he sang those lyrics. 1964. It's almost 60 years ago. 60 years ago. So I want you to understand too that if you're 65 and you expect to live to be 80, you have 15 years left. I turn 65 next month. This hit me upside the head, 2x4. But Mick Jagger, just so you know, he turns 80 in July of this year. Mick Jagger is going to be turning 80. So has he used up all his allocated time? I don't know. None of us have that answer, do we? But if this is the average and this is what we're looking at, for me, it's 780 weeks turning 65. And this is crazy when we start looking at time in that way. Because if you think about, you remember As the World Turns or Days of Our Lives, I think it was Days of Our Lives or something. And it was because I remember my grandmother used to watch this, and when she'd come for a visit, we'd watch her stories with her on TV. You remember all those soap operas. I don't know if they even still have them, but these are the Days of Our Lives. And it showed an hourglass and the sand just going through. And I always thought, how dramatic, but how profound, really. It's true. The sand is just going through. You think about the Wizard of Oz and the sand and the hourglass. When that sand goes out, Dorothy, that's it for you. Curtains. But 780 weeks is not a lot of weeks, is it? And as a matter of fact, Oliver Berkman, he's the author of 4,000 Weeks, Time Management for Mere Mortals. But 4,000 weeks is how many weeks the average person has to live. That's what that is. So the thing is, we have to look at it. We all have an expiration date. You buy eggs, there's a date on there. You buy a carton of sour cream, there's a date on there. Everything has an expiration date. Nothing lasts forever. Maybe honey does and cockroaches, I don't know, but nothing lasts forever in this world, including people. So we are handed a life sentence the moment that we take our very first breath. I want you to think in these terms, because I know that it is a walloping 2x4, isn't it? A cosmic 2x4 right to the head. But the clock starts ticking in the minute you take your first breath. These are the days of your lives. Here comes the sand. Sand. So if this is the case, then we have to start living in the dash and not in the past. We have, if you go to a cemetery and you see this is the day they were born, there's a dash, and then this is the year that they died. In the dash is when their life happened. And this is what it is for us. We need to start living in that dash and not in the past, but in the dash. Because that's when we can grasp the vibrancy of what our life is about. That's when we can start understanding a little bit of our purpose. And this is when we can start seeing the light of the importance and the preciousness of time. So we might not be able to know what day we expire, so to speak, but we do know one thing, that if we are here on purpose. We've been called to this life for purpose, right? It wraps every single one of our lives. You, me, all of us, the collective, every single one of us. And once we start to get a grip on the preciousness of that time, we need to start wondering and looking at the way we spend this precious commodity, our time. How do you spend your life's currency? How do you do that? Are you frittering it away? Are you spending it wisely? Are you doing it purposely? Are you creating a life that is worthy of your calling? Or is it just about a bunch of numbing out and checking out? We have to ask ourselves these questions. If we don't ask ourselves these questions, then can we really be worthy of our calling? Can we really be worthy to step into the life that we're meant to live? We can't notice something that we're not paying attention to. Isn't that true? We have the choice of a Groundhog's Day existence, or we have the choice to live vibrantly. And going through the motions is Groundhog's Day. Living vibrantly is the life of noticing, of being curious, and of taking seriously every single hour of our day, because it's precious. We don't know, is this our last day? Is this the last weeks or months of our life? We lost a precious member of Hot Milk Sprint here. You remember? You remember MK? We lost our Marguerite. And I will tell you, when it was a sad day when we lost her. And yet this is the way it is. She lived her life vibrantly. You remember her pictures and her roses and all of that would she'd do with her garden? She was living her life vibrantly and purposefully. And we loved her. But for her expiration date came a little sooner than we all wanted. She was an important part of our community. And you are an important part of our community. All of us are. And this is why we need to grasp the importance and the preciousness of time. So we can take that. She did love cats, didn't she? She fostered cats, and she was just lovely. I had several one-on-ones with her, and just what a sweet, enduring, beautiful heart she had. She really did. She was just quite a woman. And so are you, my goodness. You know, fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God, the apple of his eye. That is you. That is you. Let that sink in. So we look at inflammation a lot when we talk about our bodies. We just talked about that with the Hot Milk Sprint and all of that, what it creates, how it impedes a vibrant life, how to correct it, and hopefully not just correct it, but how to heal it, right? That's what we look at. So according to the dictionary, this is what inflammation is. It's a prolonged inflammatory response that involves progressive change. Get this part. It is characterized by the simultaneous destruction and repair of the tissue due to the inflammatory response. So your body is being set on fire and also trying to repair itself at the same time. Tell me that's not fearfully and wonderfully made. I mean, God really, just think about the mechanics of that whole thing. So the logic on all this is kind of stunning, because who would actually go out and try to build a house while it's burning down, right? That doesn't work out for us. However, this is how a lot of us live our lives on a daily basis, right? We eat foods that start fires in our body. I mean, let's get really honest with that. It's true. You know, as you sit there and put that Oreo in your mouth or those bag of chips into your mouth, what are you doing? You're continuing the fire. You're throwing gas on the fire and making it burn out of control. We don't exercise enough, and what happens? We become stagnant. And you know how you're stagnant is because when you go to use your muscles in just a smallish way, you find yourself absolutely burning in pain, having problems getting up and down the stairs, and out of breath. We know that's what happens when we don't exercise enough. We entertain toxic thoughts and live in the past. We've hobbled relationships with consistent inflammatory pattern, and we stay in jobs that are horrible with bad bosses, awful coworkers, and a terrible commute, right? This is what happens. And we put up with all of this garbage as if this is all we have and this is all that we can do. So let's go back to what I said at the very beginning. If you are 65 years old, you have 780 weeks left, right? We all live, the average lifespan is 4,000 weeks. So if you're 65, that means you have 780 weeks left. Less than 1,000. More than a quarter of your life gone, 3/4 of your life gone. So let me ask you what you're willing to do with this remaining 780 weeks. Are you willing to live those remaining weeks in chronic inflammation with a body on fire that's become a burden that hurts all the time? In a job that you dread, you wake up every day and you feel the pressure of that. In relationships that drain you and hurt you and cause you excruciating pain? Or how about your thought life? With thoughts that put you down, and the thoughts that make you feel less than, the thoughts that say you're not enough and you're not worthy. Is that what you want to live to? Is that how you want to spend your 780 weeks? Oliver Berkman, the same guy who wrote that book, also said this: resisting a task is usually a sign that it's meaningful, which is why it's awakening your fears and stimulating procrastination. Isn't that interesting? You could adopt do whatever you're resisting most as a philosophy for life. That really hit me this week. What am I putting off? I mean, that closet thing that I just told you about, I've been putting that off for 2 weeks. Am I going to put it off another day longer? No. I'm going to go get that done. And it's not because it's going to be life-changing. It's because it's going to help me out. It's going to help me become more vibrant. Patsy, Mark just turned 68 on Sunday. So yes. Hi, Virginia, by the way, and Chris. So as you're contemplating these mountains in your life, we all have them. We all have some kind of an obstacle. We all have something in our lives that's hard and dreading. And maybe we're saying we're going to call it overwhelming. Whatever it is, we all have something that we're procrastinating, putting off, avoiding looking at. Ask yourself, though, am I avoiding a mountain or a molehill? Or am I turning this molehill into a mountain? Am I making it bigger than it needs to be? Am I? What's my part in all of this? Or am I taking a wholehearted responsibility for myself? We talked about that a little bit yesterday, about being personally responsible. The other thing is, I ask you this because I've seen this so many times. Am I blaming? Am I shaming? Am I numbing out to some kind of a substance, food, booze, whatever, sitting my butt on the couch till it's practically fused to the cushion, not doing anything instead of doing something, just a little bit of something? What has my life become? That's the question. What has my life become? But when we spend our precious time making mountains out of molehills, we're living in chronic inflammation of our heart, mind, body, and soul. It's not just about food and how it affects you and how your body feels. It's about chronic inflammation that spreads everywhere, willingly, by choices that are being made. Because here's the thing, the clock is ticking, the sand is running through the hourglass, the pendulum still swings, and those weeks fly by. It's unbelievable to me that it was 2 weeks ago that we were down in Florida. It goes that fast. And here's a massive truth bomb for you that Scott Peck said. You remember him, the road less traveled? Until you value yourself, you won't value your time. I am going to repeat that. Until you value yourself, you won't value your time. Until you value your time, you won't do anything with it. And that's not you, is it? It's not me either. Because I want to live my life vibrantly. And life is way too short to live it in chronic inflammation, heart, mind, body, and soul. Way too short. I want to live my life in full bloom. I want you to live your life in full bloom. But it starts here. The starting place is recognizing the preciousness of time. And when you do this, and when you see that today really is the first day of the rest of your life, remember that crappy bumper sticker that used to be on everything? There's profound truth there. It's true. And this might be week 750 for you, or week 700, or whatever. Wherever it is and wherever you are, if you make a decision today that you're going to handle every single day with precious kid gloves and take your time seriously, then you're going to step into living your life vibrantly and in full flow. Because that's how this whole thing works. Anyway, Cosmic 2x4. I hope that helped you and didn't just freak you out like it freaked me out. But life is precious, and so is our time in it. And we don't know how much that is. And I want all of you to have this moment in your life where you just take stock of what it is that you have, what it is that you want, and the decisions that you have to live your life vibrantly. Let's do it together, shall we? All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Catherine. And if you've missed our announcements, you can go to savingdinner.com/announcements and go get them. Secondarily, the other thing that you can do is make sure that you join us for the Hot Milk Sprint, well, the ultimate Hot Milk Sprint, which is starting this next Monday coming up. That's also on the announcement page, savingdinner.com/announcements. Peace be with you. I hope to see you tomorrow for Wise Women's Wednesday. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.